Hi guys, welcome to another episode of I Talk with Nana. I still remain your host Nana, and today we have a guest in the house.
Hey guys, I'm Jachi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Jachi. Okay, so how we introduce ourselves here? You say your name, tell us what you do, and where we can find you on social media, and what social media you use.
Okay. My name is Jachi, mostly known as Castro.
Big
Uh,
Castro.
Relax. so I have different things I do in terms of career. An engineer. I work in the oil and gas space, and based on passion, I also do music on the side. You can find my music on streaming platforms. Just search for Big Castro and you'll see me on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, and in my spare time, I write. I do a lot of review of songs and mostly that. So
Whiskey or Davido.
neither.
I've
I
never, I've not
I
really
love
heard anyone say neither. Like it's always one person.
I love both, right? I
Who do you
love
vibe to
both.
more?
Not really. I just vibe to both. Like I just love their music equally.
Okay, so you're not a one of there's Davido's concert and I'm hopping on it. There's Whiskey's concert, I'm hopping on it,
No,
and not neither.
not at all. I'm more of an MI Abaga fan. Like
Okay,
I love his music since
so am I
2008.
Oladipo?
MI definitely. MI over any rapper out there, man.
Okay.
So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Am I? If you probably run into this, please feature the
I'm part of
boy.
the tribe, okay?
Okay, so welcome on here. We will be talking about navigating your 20s as a young Nigerian man, and I know that this topic, a lot of people will be able to resonate with, especially the young people, especially with what we see online, how we see young people getting their hands into, dangerous and things that are bloodstained just because they want to get the, what people call the moolah. So I'm going to ask you, do you feel the pressure to have everything figured out by now?
Yeah, it's normal to feel the pressure, right? Like if you don't feel the pressure, then there's something wrong with you. As a regular young person, then coupled with the fact that you're a young guy, right? Normally, as a young person, you experience pressure, be it a lady or a
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Then, as
pressure's
a
there.
guy myself,
It's
with
worse.
the like, if I'm not feeling the pressure, then something is wrong with me, or I'm not raised up right. So it's normal to feel the pressure, right? To to have this need to have your shit together,
Yeah,
like
at a certain age.
at a certain age, right? Because if you look out there, it always looks like the grass is green on the other side.
Yeah,
You look at your mates and you see them, they're thriving, they are doing well with their career, they
yeah,
are on TikTok, Twitter, social media
yeah.
pages, showing themselves flying
Influencers
around,
and yeah,
having a swell time.
time.
So,
Yeah,
and you look at that and you look at your life and you're like, what am I doing in my life?
yeah,
Am I making progress? And it's normal, but the issue is usually smart people are overly critical of themselves. So, and that's where the pressure comes from.
yeah,
And the pressure is also a good sign that you want better for
yeah,
yourself, you are aspiring higher. So, the pressure can be good at times. It has its pros, it has its cons. You just
yeah.
don't let it push you off the cliff.
Okay,
That's
so where do you think this pressure comes from? Do you think for you now, do you think it's an internal pressure, or do you think it's societal, or do you think it's external in general? Maybe family, friends, or just society in general that amounts that pressure on young people, or do you think it's an internal type of pressure that you're having currently?
okay. Personally, I'm grateful for my upbringing,
Okay.
right? My folks brought me up in a way where we tend to be contented with what we have. We
Yeah.
are not satisfied, right? But we are contented with
Yeah.
wherever we are.
Yeah.
So it's difficult before I feel pressure from society.
Oh, okay.
So personally, the pressure I feel is mostly internalized. It's internal. It's the pressure I put on myself based on
Okay.
the expectations I have given myself. Because I don't know for others. I just feel like God has invested so much in me,
Yeah.
has put in so much in me in terms of skills, abilities, talents that sometimes I look at myself and I feel like I'm not maximizing these things.
Yeah.
So
Same
it puts me under some form of pressure. And
pressure. Yeah.
also, once you're a young person
Yeah.
and you take responsibility and take the initiative,
Yeah.
you always have younger people look up to you, even your
Yeah.
mates. So there's also a pressure that comes from there when you realize that you have people that look up to you.
Yeah. So you
Be
have to
you know,
meet up to some certain level of expectation. So, do you think that because you have so many things that you're gifted and you're talented with, it becomes harder, like to, it becomes harder to not have that pressure? Or do you think that like that pressure is whether you are super talented or you're not super talented, the pressure is there regardless for you?
whether you're talented or not, although I believe everyone has their skills and
Yeah.
talent, right? You would always feel that pressure for the simple fact that you're a human being existing in this crazy aspect. So you would always feel that pressure. So I don't think it's a product of whether you're talented or not.
You're not.
The good thing about talent and skill is it gives you an avenue to think, okay, I can make out something for myself from
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Whereas when you don't have one, it feels like the pressure is double because you're struggling to think, where can I see my exit route from?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
having the skill and talent comes with its own pressure, but it also gives you some form of relief that, okay, I have options, I
Yeah.
have what I can use.
Yeah.
So you try, you fail in this, you try the next one, you fail in it, you try the next one, you fail in it. What's that?
Okay. Okay, so this question is it's something that stemmed from having observed. So I know someone who recently, well, not basically recently, lost his father, and I remember trying to console, and if it was a lady, it would have been easier, to say, okay, cry, you know pour it all out, do that. But for a guy, I discovered that I was kind of held back. I did not really know if I should say, okay, cry, or if I should say, don't cry. And then I now remember the saying, people say, be a man. They always tell you, be a man. So what do you think, to you, what does that definition of be a man mean? And how has it changed your 20s? How has it changed how you view your 20s? When you hear people say, oh, be a man, you got to man up, this, that, whether for emotional stuff or financial stuff, or just when they basically tell you, be a man. What do you think that definition has changed for you in your 20s?
Okay, this is a tough one, right? So growing up as a child, um, I can recall there was a day I was bullied in school
Yeah,
because growing up, I looked up to my pops,
yeah.
right? I looked up to my pops a lot. He was like Batman without the suit,
Ooh,
right? Like, and I felt like my pops could beat anybody in the world, as a child. Like, that's the eyes you look at your pops. So
yeah,
anyone that bullied me, my pops was the first person I would run to.
yeah.
So I was in nursery school then,
Okay.
and this boy, his name was Chibueze. I can't forget the boy's name. So Chibueze was bullying me every day in nursery school then,
Back to
and
back.
I would
Nursery school.
like I would not
I
cry
wonder
home.
where he is now.
I don't know. Hopefully life is not bullying him though. But like I would cry home regularly. So that
Yeah.
particular day, I cried home, and my dad came saw me crying, and he was like, "Why are you crying?" I told him someone bullied me in school, and he asked me who was that. I mentioned the person's name. And the first question he asked me was, "What class is he in?" I told him in the same class. My dad looked at me dead in the face. My dad that would usually go out there defend me and all
Yeah.
was like, "So you are there, a boy that's your mate is bullying you and you're crying. Shame on you.
Hey.
Be a man." That hit a nerve in me,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, what? So the next day, Chukwueze was a bit taller than me. I've never really been blessed with height as a kid. It was as I got in secondary school, I just
Yeah.
boom grew. But in back then, I was quite small.
Okay.
With that, I went to school and Chukwueze saw me, thought it was the usual me who would bully, I would
Yeah.
run. He came and we have had a crazy ass fight that day. But after the fight,
This was nursery school.
nursery school, Chukwueze realized that things don't change. So that helped me, right? Does that mean being a man means fighting? No. Being a man also doesn't mean you shouldn't cry. Because I've heard people that say,
Yeah. Don't
be a
cry.
man,
Be a
don't
man.
cry.
Don't
Now,
cry. Don't be.
be a man technically just means taking responsibility,
Yeah.
being accountable.
Yeah.
So go in there, take the initiative, be responsible for your action, be responsible for the outcome of whatever happens. Like that, there's a song by Black Bones. It's on the lamp.
You listen to Black Bones.
not really Black Bones, but
Hmm.
I listened to the album because it was a collaborative album with him, Emma Yabaga, AQ, and Luz Canon.
Okay.
And the name of the song is Fears.
Okay.
And in one of his intro lines there, he just mentioned that he's a grown ass man. He can be pointing fingers about the decisions he makes. So being a man is just you taking responsibility for your actions,
Yeah.
whichever decisions you make. So even if you're faced with pain, you lose a loved one.
Yeah.
Be a man simply means accepting the fact that this is reality and
Yeah.
taking responsibility and say, well, could I have done anything about it? No.
I couldn't have.
If I'm not able to do anything about it, so why should I kill myself? Yeah, I'm allowed to feel the pain, right?
Yeah.
But the best thing to do is feel the pain, pick yourself up and go. And that's why the best person to console a grieving guy is his fellow guys.
I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like they banter about,
Yeah.
like, I've seen a couple of Twitter. I've seen a couple of tweets on Twitter, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? This person just lost their father. And you're here telling them how their father died because he avoided debts that he was owing, or
Like,
how he died now, so money start coming. I'm like,
like
"Ah,
it,
what is wrong with you people?
you
What
know,
is wrong with you guys?" But I
it,
think it helps to heal someone. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like there should be a thin line between being like having that humor and just being considerate of the person's feelings at the moment. But I think that most guys don't take the initiative, or maybe just ladies being emotional about it. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
that's just what I personally think.
you know, men and women, we view grief
Differently,
differently. We
yes.
view emotions differently.
Differently, yeah.
So the biggest mistake one would make is to expect a woman to approach grief the same way a guy would approach it,
Approach grief,
or a
yeah.
guy to approach grief the same way a woman would
Approach grief, yeah.
approach it. So as guys, if I realize that my guy has lost someone there, my reason coming there is not to remind you of your loss.
Yeah. To
I'm
cheer you
there
up.
to cheer you up.
Yeah.
Like we crack jokes, talk about things,
Yeah.
and we just get your mind off it. For the mere sake that I'm there, you already know that I care about you. You be
Yeah.
my guy,
Yeah.
right? And we
Yeah.
troll each other. That's that.
Yeah.
For ladies, it's different.
Yeah.
And as a guy, we will not tell you don't cry, right? If you're crying, everybody will just comfort you.
Yeah.
But bear in mind that few days almost
They
from now,
would remind
we'll
you.
use it to batter you, sha. But sha cry, you're free to cry, right? It's normal,
Ah,
right?
yeah.
So, but one thing I learned from my pops is this: is never cry in public. Never give the public uh, the
Impression.
joy
Okay.
of seeing you in tears. So
For guys or for ladies or just for
I
guys?
feel like it's in general, but most
Okay.
especially for
For
guys.
guys. Why? Why
And
do you why do you think that is
that also comes the pressure from society, right?
okay?
In as much as we hear people say, "Yeah, man, cry. It's okay
Yeah.
to cry. Be
Do you
free to
think do
cry,"
you
and
think they are
stuff
giving
like
the
that.
space to be emotionally vulnerable? Do you think
But
men are giving that space to be emotionally vulnerable?
they say it, right? But
They don't want to see you doing it.
they don't want to see it. That's just it, right? Because the more the more they see it, see, I might go off real. People might, come for me for this, right? But women oftentimes tell you, sure, cry and whatever. But deep down, I'm not sure any woman wants
Wants
to
to see her guy
see
crying.
see her man cry. Like
Because like
it's cool for you to
to
feel
see,
pain,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or maybe you just come into the room and you just realize he's sobbing over something
yeah,
and you just
yeah.
but not shedding tears. Like, bro, nobody wants to see that. Like the day she sees you like that, something in her
Your
just
steez will drop one
like
thousand
it's
times.
normal.
Yeah.
So, in as much as a lot of people will gaslight you, no, yeah, I'm in your safe
Emotionally vulnerable.
space, cry,
Yeah. She
nah,
had to cry
bro,
on.
like man to man, bro to bro, the best place you can cry is in your secret place, in your own place. Cry at the feet of God. I'm a Christian. I'm
Yeah.
a believer. Be in your place. Cry to God. Shed any tears you want to shed, and get up, wipe your face, and come out. Don't let the world get the opportunity to see you cry
Yeah.
because
Don't
those
give them
people
that
are
satisfaction of
nah,
seeing you that vulnerable.
nah.
So in general, you think that Nigerian men are not given the space to be emotionally vulnerable in the society.
Not Nigerian men, men in
Men in
general.
general.
So it's just that in Nigeria we are two rats, and it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So, but there are safe spaces, right? You have families where you have that safe space to cry,
Yeah.
and you're allowed to cry,
Yeah.
right? The only thing I'm just saying is don't do it in public. That's all I'm saying. You have your family, right? I'm not saying your wife is there and any small thing you're crying, removing kata from your nose, kind of tears. Nah, man, nah, that's crazy. Like, if you wanna cry,
So a
cry
man can
with
be emotionally vulnerable. Get
cry
what you
cry
saying?
with drip, right?
You
Let
don't
the
be crying
tears
with
just
drip.
run down small, and
It's
just
tears. You don't have to cry with
you
drip.
know, just have some
The tears are
composure,
already dripping. Which one is
you
cry with drip
know.
again?
Don't go and fall. See, what I'm saying this is that there are women that have the emotional maturity to handle a guy crying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying most women don't have that. You
Yeah.
have women out there that have it, and they'll
Yeah.
give you that safe space
That you need.
that you need.
Yes. Yeah.
The issue is that there are also women like that that don't have that maturity. So how will you bet your
How
love that
yeah, that you're with the one that
you
is not
know,
and the one that
you know,
is.
and you go and do it, and things change. She no longer sees you the same. But I feel like what men need more is that safe space within their own, group,
Community.
guys, whatever, where you're free to cry and do
But
whatever
most
you want
times,
to do.
guys don't even. I feel like most times, guys don't even give guys that safe space. I mean, yeah, I get it here. The whole banter, especially for grief, the whole bantering you when you're grieving, or maybe your babe broke up with you, your guy is smarting. They'll come and be teasing you how, nobody's bringing food for you, get stuff like that. No, but I feel like at the same time, guys don't even make it easier for their fellow guys to express themselves, and sometimes it's hard because when women now want to talk about it online, or when people want to talk about it online, it's always okay. Let me give an instance now. So on Women's Day, International Women's Day, there was this uproar on Twitter how if it's Women's Day, everybody's outside, everybody's doing this, everybody's doing that. Women are wishing, their wishes going up, celebrations. But then it was International Day of the Boy Child, and someone made a tweet, talking about how if it was Women's Day or Girl Child Day, everybody will be out there celebrating. Me personally, like I said in my previous podcast, I don't really keep up with all these days. It's when I go online, today is, okay, congrats everybody, happy congratulations everybody. I don't keep up with all these days. But then the person was trying to come from the point of if it was women, this opera, this whole celebration would be there, society would do, and a lady made a tweet. She said, well, today being International Day of the Boy Child, I'm yet to see a boy-oriented organization organizing outreaches and shows for the boys. So if you don't do it for yourselves, do you expect someone else to do it for you?
That's the question, right? What most people don't realize is most of these outreaches for the girl child, they have some form of grants
Okay.
from NGOs and top bodies, right? And
Is it
that's
that the
just
ones
that.
for boys don't get grants, or they're not
Let,
widely accepted enough to get grants?
let, let me make an illustration, right? In
Okay.
my former company,
Okay.
Women's Day, they celebrated women.
Okay.
International Day of the Girl's Child, they celebrated
Celebrated
them.
it. Okay.
Well, Men's Day, no post.
Oh.
Like, no post on their social media account.
Who is the
Nothing.
handler? I think he has to do with the handler.
No, nothing was organized by the company. Like,
It was just a
I
quiet
know
day.
during International Women's Day, that day they organized the program, invited influencers, they came, top female influencers in the country. They gave talk shows to the ladies there, had their ladies' time, had so much fun. Even some
Yeah.
of us guys, we came around to support them, cheer
Ladies,
them
yeah.
up, to
Yeah.
tell them that, yeah, we support you.
Yeah.
But switch it around, guys zone, no single post, not even the social media. We're not saying organize something
Yeah. The
for,
social
for,
media
for us,
outreach.
right? Because most times, if you organize that kind of program, I'm going to be real with you, guys
Guys
wouldn't
won't
come
even come. Yeah.
because what we don't want shows.
Yeah.
We don't want ladies how to empower. Nah, if you want to
Show.
celebrate guys,
Give
right?
us the fish.
Like just organize like a barbecue and say, men
Yeah.
pull up, they're
Yeah.
celebrating, and guys will
Yeah.
pull up. They will
Yeah.
bond over that,
Yeah.
have a couple drinks, play snooker,
Yeah.
stuff like that, and they have a chill time.
Yeah.
So, but the issue is the world wants to celebrate men the way
They
they
celebrate women.
celebrate women. And you now bring out those programs and say men are not turning up. Why would they turn up when you want to celebrate them the way you did it right?
The men should celebrate the men
Even
the way they
UNICEF,
wish to celebrate the men.
right? Let's say on to UNICEF now. UNICEF always makes posts on women's International Women's Day,
International Day of the Girl Child.
International Day
Yeah.
of the Girl Child, but no post from them on the International Day of the Boy Child. They were even dragged recently on Twitter.
Oh.
Personally, I really don't care about those days,
Yeah.
man, because I really don't need anybody to
Celebrate
celebrate
me.
me. I don't even
Yeah.
celebrate my birthday. So it's only
You need to do better.
like the only time I celebrate my birthday, the only people that make me celebrate my birthday are the women in my life. Like my female friends are like, they're the ones that make me excited about my
Yeah, towards
birthday.
your
On a normal
birthday.
day, it's just, and that's part of the upbringing that we have as guys, right?
Because from
And
your house, you guys do not really celebrate your, like, the males in your house. You didn't really celebrate
no,
birthdays.
in my house,
Yeah.
we celebrated everybody's birthday.
Okay.
For my dad, my moms,
Your
my
siblings,
siblings,
yeah.
everybody's birthday was celebrated.
Celebrated.
But as a guy, that's where that pressure comes in. Where as a young person, if you are around, let's say 15, 16, we live in a society that glorifies crime, glorifies fraud,
Very much. Very much.
glorifies all sorts of illegality,
Yeah.
right? And
Get rich quick
get rich
syndrome.
quick, right?
That's why I have
So
a lot
now,
of Ponzi schemes. Yeah.
you're not there and you now look at yourself. You have that, introspection where you now look around and you weigh yourself and you ask yourself, am I where I want to be? Even at that young age, we shouldn't have been doing that, but we
Yeah.
lived in a place whereby we felt
You
as a
felt
man
unnecessarily early pressured so
any
much that you
pressure
just,
to. So
yeah.
we realized that birthdays, let me just be on the low.
And then you could even be like 16, 17. You
16,
have
right?
girlfriend that is 15, and you're already thinking like, if I celebrate the birthday, when she asks for one tomorrow, you're already thinking so many things.
So but I think I'm grateful to my guys, my friends, right? In the sense that I don't feel many guys are that lucky to have that kind of circle. And
Okay.
I'm lucky in the sense that right
Shout
from
out to your guys now.
yeah, shout out to Blue,
Shout out to them.
shout out to K, shout out to Nedu, shout out to Cham, shout out to Frank, shout out to Go, shout out to Sans,
The circle
shout
long,
out
bro.
to Zara, shout out to like as many as they are, man.
But I
Like
didn't hear my name. What do you mean? I'm not your guy.
you know, you guys, I beg.
That's bad.
So, but like, especially my close clique OCN, like we've given ourselves that space whereby we can be vulnerable.
Yeah, to each other.
So because I'm trying to drag it back from the whole celebrating women's Day and all those things, because that's really not my priority. I have no business with that.
Yeah.
But coming back to the whole vulnerability stuff,
Yeah.
we give ourselves that space to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Though we catch cruise a lot of times, but at the same time, when you're having a mental breakdown, everyone gives you that chance to have it. I recall in 2021, one of my guys, I won't mention his name, he had a crazy ass mental breakdown because of a lady then. And it was partially his fault. I always tell him because he wasn't really feeling the lady.
Are you that person in the friend group that is very blunt to your friends?
Kinda, right? Like I will tell you the truth, right? So like the girl loved him,
Okay.
but he was in this group of, I don't think I love her back, this and that, and I told him something like, bro, the day this girl leaves, you will regret it. And you're like, nah.
You are a prophet.
And the girl eventually realized her self worth
Yeah.
and decided that, nah, I can't stick around, and got in with someone else.
Okay.
And when my guy realized it, bro, it was crazy. Like I was in the room. This was in school then. Nobody was there. It was just two of us. This guy had the craziest mental breakdown. Like, cause like I've never seen my guy that way. But I didn't say shit, right? I just kept calm, right? I'm not the type to tell you I told you so.
Yeah.
In the
Moment,
moment,
yeah.
I just keep calm and I let him have his breakdown. I just told him, bro, just let it go, right? And after a while, he actually let it go, right? And over time, I still banter him with it though, but in that moment, he felt vulnerable enough to, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And that was that. Even days where he's had his personal struggles and stuff like that, he tells me and I give him that space and I encourage him and stuff like that. And that's the kind of circle I've built whereby as guys, we can be vulnerable and at the same time we keep each other accountable.
Yeah.
If you mess up or like, bro, you didn't do this right.
Yeah.
Change up, apologize, do better and stuff like that. So that's the kind of circle we've created for ourselves for the past 8 years, 9 years we've been guys. So and I feel like every guy needs that. So to keep them in check and to also have people that are there for them in their tough times. That's me though.
Okay. So let's move over to career wise. Have you ever felt like you are facing or you're fighting against time career wise? Has there ever been a moment in your life that you felt like okay, when you were younger, maybe at 27, 28, there was some level of expectation in your career you know we are looking forward to. And then now you're like, ah, I'm fighting against time. There's no time, you know. You ever
Why are you
felt
saying
that way?
27, 28?
I'm
Like,
just saying you're 30. Are you up this is navigating your 20s as a young Nigerian man. So
no, the way
you're
you
almost
use,
30.
I'm not almost 30, guys,
He's almost
please.
30,
I'm not
guys.
almost
He's
30. I'm very much
30.
a youngin
He's
like
young,
you.
please.
Please, I'm not almost 30.
He's
But
young, please. Disclaimer, he's young. He's
yeah,
young.
but honestly, I've never really felt like I'm racing against time
Okay.
because I've been a privileged child of grace.
Okay.
So, and I don't know, I always tend to bring in Christianity to anything
Go ahead. I
I say,
mean,
right?
if you're a
And
Christian, you know how it
it
feels.
always boils down to the confidence you have in God,
Yeah.
right? I have this trust right from a young age that God has a plan.
For
That's
you.
like my motto. God has a plan.
Okay.
So if God has a plan, it means I can neither be too fast or too
Too
slow
slow. You're always
because
on time.
I'm always on time. I'm working with this role.
Preach.
So at every point in time, I feel like anywhere I am at any point in time, God
Yeah.
has a reason for me being there,
Being
and He
there at the
wants me
time.
to learn something that would allow me grow and be prepared enough for the next stage. So I've never really felt that pressure in terms of career. Maybe in my music though, yeah, because I said I do
Yeah.
music and I've
Big
been doing it
Castro.
for like close to 10 years now. No
You guys
much,
go and stream his
no
song.
much,
It's good.
growth. But there's growth though,
There's
right?
growth now.
Well, when I say no much growth, I mean in terms of publicity and
Yeah, so
fame.
you had so in that aspect of your career, because I believe that your music thing is not just it's not a side. It's something that, or rather, let me ask: is it something you like to pursue, seriously as a career, or is it something just like this? Like okay,
Well,
I have plenty
it's
talent. Let me just
yes and no,
okay,
right? In the sense that there's a pressure that comes with going commercial,
okay.
whereby you want to sing what the people want to hear.
Here,
You
yes,
want to be the in vogue sound.
yeah,
You play, and I'm not that kind of person.
okay,
Like, I just want to do what I want to do. So if I feel like I want to wake up one morning and I want to sing country music, so be it. I have no pressure from anybody. I
yeah.
just do it. So my prayer has always been, God, if I can get like 1,000 dedicated fans that are streaming my music, I don't. I'm not there to be the top 10 or top three
So you're
Nigerian
trying to say
artists
that
and all
me as
that.
a dedicated fan, I'm not up to 1,000.
God, I beg.
Moving on.
So in that aspect, right, there's pressure in the sense that like people around me, family, they would always feel like they know what's best for you. They're giving you
Yeah,
advice out of a good
yeah,
place, and they're like, "Bro,
yeah,
leave this music stuff. You've been doing it for years, right?
yeah. It's not
You know,
working.
it's not working.
Yeah,
Putting your money into something else because
yeah,
I've invested a lot into the music,
yeah,
right? When I say a lot, millions, and there's really nothing to show in terms of output, but in terms of growth, when it
yeah,
comes to the quality of the work I
yeah.
put out, there has been an
Yes.
increase in the level, or there's
Yeah,
been a growth. But people around may not see that because they are judging the result based on numbers.
yeah,
But most times, it's not really the number. So there's this pressure where I feel like I should have done better by now,
yeah.
but you know, when you look at some artists that started years after, and you're like, and you're already at the
Yeah,
top
at the top.
there,
Yeah,
and then you're looking at yourself. But my way of dealing with the pressure has always been, I'm doing this music for me. It's
yeah.
what I love. I really don't have much hobbies.
What do you mean by that? Doing it for us, for me too. I'm
Um,
a dedicated fan. Treat your fan well now. What do you mean?
well, like I just do it because it's the only thing that gives me peace at this
Yeah,
point in time. So I
yeah,
just do it, and that's how I deal with that pressure. But career wise, I feel like I'm doing well for my age.
yeah,
Like where I am currently, I'm in a good place
yeah.
career wise. So I feel like I'm
You're doing pretty well. Do you occasionally this aside the topic, but do you occasionally listen to your music on like streaming platforms? Do you like ever like okay, let me hear how I sound on because I mean as a podcaster, yeah, I cringe when I hear myself like on in fact one of my physiotherapy sessions, I was listening to okay, I was with my phone, so the person handing my case came in. I was like, oh, so tell me, what do you do? Let's discuss while I, do your exercises and monitor all your exercises. And so I was talking. I said, okay, I'm also a podcaster. Like, oh, what's your name? And there and there, he searched my name on Spotify. He found me. He played one episode, and I had to take his phone and reduce the volume to, like, I don't know if it was five. I didn't want to hear myself, and but he made sure he increased so everybody in that place to hear it. So I don't know if it's just me that just, I don't really like. I feel like if I release something, it's out. Like, you guys go deal with it or go listen to it. Or listen to myself. Sometimes it's weird, but occasionally I do for some level of improvement. So do you occasionally listen to yourself? Like, from when you started putting out your songs on streaming platforms down to the last one that you set out, do you occasionally listen to yourself?
Yeah, I always do, right? Like that's the only way you can get better
Better,
as a
yeah,
person.
to
You
know where
look
you
at
missed out,
things, okay, what could
what
I
could
have
be
done
added,
better?
yeah, what
But
could I
the
have done.
issue is, for example, now I prefer to listen to songs that I dropped way back in 2016,
Okay.
2015, 2017, because those songs are not on streaming platforms. They're only
Platforms.
on Audio Mac, not
Okay.
on Audio.
Apple Music and
Yeah,
stuff and
they're
stuff.
not this. From
Yeah.
2020, I started putting my stuff on
Yeah.
DSPs, right?
Yeah.
And why I listen to those is because I go back and I try to look at how I started, because it's easy for me now to lose sight of the progress I've made. But when I go back and listen and I hear my voice, my light voice, then I'm like, no, bro, there's growth, right? And
There is.
also, I use it to motivate myself, because back then, coming into the whole music stuff,
Yeah.
I had this youthful exuberance then. I had this much excitement. Like I
Yeah.
was so upbeat. Like I felt like I could take on the world.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do this shit. Like my plan then was to be better than
Every
everybody.
other
So
person,
it
yeah.
showed in my attitude, in the way I rapped, and what I rapped about. Like I wasn't scared to take shots at anybody, because I felt like if you come at me, I
You're
was
going to get it.
equipped. Like
You're gonna
but
get it.
and I look at now and see how my enthusiasm has died down. That whole optimism has turned to realism more. And you're like, oh, so I look at it and I tell myself, bro, what changed? Like, how did you end up losing yourself? And it helps motivate me to
To
get back
push
at it.
more.
But if it's the things I've released recently, I don't really listen to it much, because before I release it outside, I must have played it like
I
a
think that's what I listened
hundred
to
or
recently. I think
million
Space and
times.
Time or something like that.
Yeah, space
Yeah.
and time. And
Yeah, I really like it. It's nice.
thank you
I mean,
very much. Thank you very
I'm a
much.
fan girling.
Wahala. Yeah.
Okay. So still focusing on career, music, and all in all, what does success mean to you right now? Like, at this point in time, at this moment you're sitting here, when someone says, "Oh, you're successful," what does it mean to you? And have you ever been at a point where you thought, "Oh yeah, this is a success in my career. This is a success in my music. This is success in, whatever it is you're doing now."
Okay, so I'll get back to my basics,
Okay.
which is there's something Paul said, which was like to live is Christ and to die is gain, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the purpose of everything I'm doing is to live according to God's will and
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
So some define success by the amount of money you've made,
Yeah.
or the reach you've made and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I base success by impact. So now, even down to my career, I feel like as the place I am right now,
Yeah.
though technically for the average Nigerian, I
Yeah.
make a lot of money,
Yeah.
but it's not really the money, it's the fact that I'm at a point whereby I can impact values. People can come to me and I can mentor them, tutor them, right? Because currently I'm a TEF mentor, to the
Okay.
Elumelu Foundation mentor. At a young age, that's something that, and I'm not being paid for it.
Yeah.
It's a volunteer something, right?
Something.
But
Yeah.
for the mere fact that I'm selected to mentor a fellow young person, for me, that's success.
Yeah. It
That's
is.
growth.
It is.
And it's not something that you can measure with money, or it's not measured with metrics or quantities,
Yeah.
numbers. It's
Yeah.
something you look at people. And even most times I head back to my university, my
Yeah.
alma mater. I graduated from Futo.
Yeah.
And while in
If
Futo, I
it's
was
tight.
in a theater then, Solution Theater. Shout outs to Solution Theater folks, right? And You know, graduating, I left school 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago, and up till now, I still have a lot of them hit me up because of the impact we made in their lives. And from time to time, we go back to organize boot camps, programs, and
That's
skill
cool.
up events that people learn how to do stuff like videography, costuming, makeup, and that to me is success. When I see them happy,
Yeah.
excited,
Yeah.
learning, and all that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that is it for me. Then
Yeah.
music wise, my music has always been to express my feelings, how I feel, not to glorify any vice, right? So I feel like the first success I had in my music was in 2018. I dropped a song called I Quit.
Hmm.
And they and when I dropped it, a lot of people felt like I was quitting from music,
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean,
right?
I quit.
So
Like, what are you
well,
quitting?
but the concept of the song was simply like I quit. Even that's what you're talking about pressure, right?
Yeah.
The song basically just go back and check it. It's on
Ooh, you
Audio
guys.
Mark, right?
I
And
quit on Audio Mac.
right, it was just basically me saying I quit letting people put pressure on me.
Mm,
I quit letting things affect me. I quit living for people. I quit
yeah.
trying to please everybody. I quit trying my best to, warm up to everybody. Let me
More
just,
or less being a people pleaser.
let me just live for me, live for God, do what I need to do, be happy, right? And when I dropped that stuff, it was me expressing myself on the
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
But when I put it out there, a week after, I get a voice note from a friend of mine, a guy, right? And on the voice note, the guy was literally crying. What was the issue? He's like the first son, and he feels a lot of pressure from his family and all. And he told me that as he was listening to the song, he felt like someone could relate with him, and he felt some form of peace and security, and it made him feel better,
That's
right?
success. Yeah.
That's success
Yeah.
to me. 99.99% of Nigerians haven't heard that song before,
You
right?
guys should go
Well,
and hear it now.
that's success to me. So,
That's
yeah.
great. So I, God, 2018. I'm just thinking that's for someone to feel pressure at that time in 2018 when at least things were somewhat good. Now, hey, if you run man, like if you remove your clothes, craze because there's a lot. So, are you experiencing financial demands from family, society at the moment? And if you are, how are you handling it? Are you, or are you also, do you have personal, or rather, let me put it this way: do you have personal goals that are financially oriented, and are you feeling pressure at the moment to achieve those goals?
Okay. Um, so this is where that's like, but going back to my basics, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I've seen a lot of money over the years, like by the past 2 3 years. But the truth is,
Give me small 1,000 naira,
I
$1,000.
I feel like not even I feel like I
Yeah.
have this orientation that everything I have is given by God, right? God says He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. The
Yeah.
earth is the Lord and the
And his fullness
fullness
thereof.
thereof,
Yeah.
right? So everything that belongs to me is literally
From
God's
God.
gift to me.
Yes.
So I feel like whatever God gives me is just, hey, Jachima, hold it for me till I need it. So and that's how I treat my finances,
Finances.
whereby
Yeah.
it's God giving me this to help meet the needs of others. I really have no huge plans on being the richest man on earth,
Okay.
right? But at the same time, I feel like God has given us resources to be there for people that don't have it. So most times I feel the pressure, not because of people, but because it weighs me down when I see that people out there suffering. And I feel privileged and blessed by God.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, use your sense and give. And is the Spirit leading you to give or stuff like that. But never in the Bible did Jesus Christ do anything good for people
Yeah.
by being led by the Spirit. Rather, it was put that he was led by compassion. So, compassion has been my major drive, not pressure from people, but the mere fact that if I have it and
Yeah.
someone needs it and I'm not using it, then why
Yeah.
should I keep it, right? So, that's where that comes in. So when I see people around me that have needs, it goes into it. For the past 2 weeks now, most of the money I have has gone into paying medical bills for people, school fees, this fee, that registration fee, monthly of buying food and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
that's the orientation I have, whereby what I have, you know,
for the help, for the assistance of others.
So
That's amazing. Oh my God. Ah, man, if people are looking for husband, come and carry this one. Oh.
wahala,
Come and carry.
wahala.
People should not leave it for the street, please. The street too.
Funny enough, I don't think women want a guy like that.
Ah, ah.
Let me
Well,
give,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, somehow.
See, I've always had that issue, right? A lot of women come around and they tell you they want a guy that is
That's
generous,
kind.
that's kind. But the truth is this: I might be dragged for this, right? But
Yeah.
a lot of women just want a man that is kind to them and people around them.
The them is silence. I want a man that is kind.
Like, they. So initially, that your generosity tends to attract them. I have that faced that issue. Like, this guy is a kind person, generous, and they come close, right? All of a sudden, they now see that this kindness is not only restricted to you. I will help those around me,
Around,
regardless of their gender.
yeah.
So now they might not have an issue when you're helping your guys,
Yeah.
but when they realize that even your female friends
Are
around you,
receiving help
when they
from
need
you.
help,
Yeah.
you help them. It now becomes an issue. Why are you sending money? Why are you always giving out? Don't you know you should? Well, you never complained when I was giving you the money, or when I was sending your brother, or sending money to your folks, or stuff like that. But now all of a sudden you don't like it, and you now want to control the person to suit into that mode you have. So when it comes to generosity, I tell most of my female friends, be sure of what you are asking God for,
Yeah.
and
Be
ensure you
very
have the
sure
capacity
to take
to handle
to
it.
handle it. Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay. But I think where it becomes a problem is when the guy is being kind and generous only to outsiders. I know someone that she dated her biggest hope. I can't even lie. Like she did. I don't think this guy liked her as a person because while they were together, like he was being so generous outside, and then you see her, and you see him, and you can tell there's a very big disparity between them. Like the way he comes out so packaged and the way she comes, I'm like. Yeah, that's this thing. So I think that's where most times people just assume that, oh, you might become overly kind, overly generous to outsiders, and then start to neglect leaders. But I
you know,
think it depends on the individual. I don't think every
it,
kind person or generous person is like that. So
the crazy part is this, right? Being generous, it all boils down to your intentions, the motive behind it, right? There are people that are generous for public applause.
yeah,
Let people see that I'm kind.
yeah.
So, for example, if a program is going on, you can easily go and meet them and at the back and say, okay, I support you guys with 500K or 50K or 100K, and nobody would know. But they want to be seen as kind
Yeah, they
people.
want to be announced.
So
Just
they want to
like
be announced. So this
yeah,
person did this. That's why you see people do things and camera everywhere. They are
everywhere.
helping
Yeah, they're
somebody.
helping people, and
Camera is
you see
there,
this one recording, this one
right?
recording, this one recording.
So most times they do it for that
Applause.
applause, people loving them and all, and that's why it only reflects outside. But when you come inside, it's not there because at home nobody will clap for you for taking care of your woman. Nobody will
Yeah,
clap for you
yeah, like
for taking care of your kids
yeah. Who is
or
meant to
your
take care of me?
woman's
See me. Was I
family.
there when
So, and since there's no form of applause or reward
you don't
attached to that,
see the need
they
to?
don't see the need for it. But someone that has the natural tendency to give or be generous, it
Will do it
comes
regardless.
naturally. I feel even as a guy, like the first person that should reflect your wealth or your ability to give is your partner,
Partner.
right? And my mom made a funny statement some days ago because when I got my last paycheck and I gave them some token, my mom and my pop, right? And next thing, my dad was like, now you should go and look for a wife and get married. My mom was like, I beg, oh, let him not marry now. Let him stay like 2 years and spend on me first. That kind of stuff because knowing him very well, he'll go and
I give it all to
give it out.
her.
So I just laughed at it because this same mother of mine was the one that was disturbing me earlier. Go and marry, go and marry, go and marry.
See, you don't know money has the money
Now,
has
yeah, yeah.
experience.
So it's well. It's well.
Okay, so um, still on career and hustling. I just asked you if you could change one thing about the hustle culture in Nigeria, what would it be?
I feel like for Nigeria, the only thing I would want to change is reward for hard work.
Oh,
In Nigeria, I don't think hard work is
rewarded.
rewarded at all. Most times they will make the hard worker look like a fool.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it boils down to even, it boils down to school, it boils down to every single, it boils down to every single aspect of Nigeria. I think
yeah,
it is
so
it's a
so
mess.
we glorify results more
Yeah,
than the process,
yeah.
and I feel we need to get to a point where the process is as much as important
As
as
the
the result.
result.
That's why you come into schools and schools pay invigilators money so that their students can pass, copy and write whatever they want to write, and they have the best results. And you're asking, okay, they have the best results, right? What about the character of this child? Like you've not done anything to develop this child's character, and the child goes out there and it feels like it doesn't matter the process, as long as I
I still,
can go and
yeah,
get my way
maneuver
around
my way
it,
through
I would
it.
have my way. And that's the way it is. Even in school, you sort, you do all things, and you come out with a good result. You're applauded. Nobody cares whether you did it the right way or the other.
Or if you can actually weigh up to the results
You
that
know.
you are having,
And
if you're up to that.
you see a young guy, you don't have a job, no skill, nothing doing, and you're living an extravagant
La vida
life.
loca.
You're spending, you're buying cars, and nobody, if you sit down and ask, what's this person doing?
Yeah.
People call you or tag you a
Eh,
hater.
they call you a hater, they call you a person that doesn't like
You
progress,
know,
they call you a village person.
you know,
Oh my god, they call you a
and
lot of things just because, yeah, that's true.
we
Just
glorify
because, yeah, they are seeing the result, they are seeing the money, and so it
and
doesn't matter how it's
I,
gotten. And I think parents too play a huge role in that as well. Because I saw a video of a lady who her son came in, gifted her a car, a young boy, 19 years, and she stared at him, stared at him. She called police. Said they should come and carry the boy that he has stolen a car. Because you're 19. Where did you get the money to get a car? Me, your father, and I, in all our years of our civil servanthood, have not even seen this type of car. Then you went out for 1 year or 6 months, coming back, said that he has killed somebody, they ritual, they should carry him, they should arrest him and the car, they should take him and the car. And then you also see families where, the child is buying land, doing this, and that the parents are not, saying anything. Why? He's a hustler now, on a may hustle, he's hustling,
on a
on a
bambo,
may, hey, his mates are making.
on a
So on
bambo.
our bambo, yeah, all make here is best name. So it's not
No,
so
um,
looked at like that.
I can understand from both sides. There's
Mm.
need to look at it from both perspectives, right? Our parents live in a generation where physical hard work
Yeah,
was what was prevalent. So
yeah,
they need to see you work physically hard
yeah,
before they see result. But we live
yeah,
in a time where young people we have lots of soft skills,
yeah. But
technical
but
and
I
stuff
think
like
at
that.
the same time there's also a thin line between when we try to justify those things. I believe that, yeah, there are people that make like serious, in quotes, sorry, forgive my language, bastard money
Okay,
through legit work,
true.
through legit remote work.
Yeah,
Most times when your parents see you on your laptop or working remotely, they don't assume you are working.
yeah,
You get ahead. But I think at the same time, it's actually suspicious when you're not even seeing this child do any work. Like you're asking them questions about their remote work and there's no substantial answer. And then tomorrow they're coming back with a car. And you're like,
yeah,
it's not, there's no, you're trying to wait on a balance and on a scale rather. And it's
yeah,
giving 2 plus 2 37. So it's not really weighing out. So I think there's a thin line when you're able to see, okay, this child's thing can bring out this product and this child's work cannot even bring out this product. So it's,
yeah,
it's basically a thin line.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Wealth without enterprise.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it basically is, and that's where I still talk about process, right? In as much as the result is important, there's also need to verify and scrutinize the process and make sure that the process is standard, is on par to what it's expected, and it's even transverses to the type of leaders we have.
Yeah.
Because somebody can just come in with rigging and he will come in because he just comes in and he throws money and everybody's hyping him up.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the fact that this person came in through illegality.
Yeah.
And that's the way, and that's the culture we have in Nigeria. Nobody cares. He has money.
No, nobody's asking
No,
questions. Nobody really gives a damn.
you that you're talking and making noise. How much do
Yeah.
you have?
Yeah.
They try to broke shame
How
you.
much is money?
But I feel like for us to grow as a nation,
Yeah.
we have to start putting as much emphasis on the process
As much as the result.
as much as the
Result.
result. Encourage an attitude of hard work
Yeah.
and genuine,
Just work.
legit work.
Okay. So let's move over quickly. Let's move over to romance. That's definitely not your best book in the Bible. Okay, so what's your current view on dating or settling down in your 20s? And how do you build or maintain healthy friendships as a man in your 20s in Nigeria? Do you believe that thing of, men are you of the view that women are like milk? Women age like milk, men age like, how they call it, fine wine? Or are you of the view that, okay, once you have the basics, you have a good job, you have some money that can take care of you and someone else, you're this and you're mentally and financially ready, you should settle down, you should, build a sustainable relationship? Or are you one that, until I clock 40, nothing for me?
Okay.
What view?
So
And how do you maintain healthy friendships and relationships also as a young person in your 20s?
and you ask so many questions.
Yeah,
I'll try to answer the
It's
ones
Tiwa.
I remember, right? So for I'll first start with the age like milk and age like wine
Okay.
kind of stuff. The honest truth is this: biology is no respecter of human feelings
Yeah.
or emotions whatsoever. So um, the human male continues to produce sperm cells till as long as you can think about. But women, on the other hand, once they get to, let's
A
say,
certain age.
late 30s, 40s, depending on the person, they start experiencing menopause. So it's usually advised that anything marriage, childbearing, all that should be done at an earlier age, right? So that's setting the reality there. Now, looking back
But the
at
thing
it,
is that if these men don't want to marry, the women marry themselves.
no, I get you. I'm getting to that, right? My dad got married at 39,
Ah,
right? And
what?
it's something he regrets till tomorrow. And he has even told me that, and that's why he's on my neck right now.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro,
yeah.
like he told me that the biggest mistake I made was marrying late because he was chasing career so much, in the sense that he finished doing ND, HND, went abroad, did a regular degree in mechanical engineering, did masters, did PhD. I'm like,
Ah, ah.
bro, like,
He wanted to achieve what is before getting
like
married.
he did all those things, stayed a while there before
No.
coming back. Now working for like 10 years or so before getting married. So that's him, though. Me, I've always had this idea that I wanted to get married at a young age.
Okay.
Even as far back in my teens, I had always envisaged that latest 24, I want to get married. But I'm past 24 right now and I'm not yet married. I don't even have a relationship now. So, but I feel like on the side of the ladies, I always say this: marriage is not a must.
It's not.
Not everybody must get married.
Not everybody will
Not everybody will get married, right? Marriage is not
do or die.
it's not a do or die
Yeah.
affair. It's not like a checklist out there because I tell the ladies around me, it's better you are single and alive than you
Than
get
married.
into a bad marriage and you ruin your life forever. So take your time, right? Take your time, no rush. Even if you don't see where it's an issue, is where you're having good men come to you, but you are turning them down because in your mind you want to live your best life. Now, what's that best life you're living? There's really not much there out there, right? And it's fine if you want to be a single person. Fine, embrace it. Don't let anyone shame you for it. It's also beautiful if you want to get married. It's also beautiful. It's an amazing
Yeah.
thing. Get
Yeah.
married as soon as you can.
Yeah.
So all I feel is, as a person, before you enter into marriage, even as a guy, I hear lots of guys out there. I have to make all the money in the world. I have to have this, have to have that, and all. And I say this: as a guy, your responsibility as a husband is mostly to be a primary provider
Yeah.
and give your family that security.
Yeah.
So as a guy, I feel like once you have a steady income, have a roof over your head, I feel
You
like
are up
you're
and about.
you're you're good. And on the other side, I feel like families and our cultures should make it easier for people to get married. Country is bad. Our currency lacks value right now. So I don't see why a young man who is barely trying to get through with life that wants to settle down is expected to cough up millions in bride price just because he wants to
I think
get
that's why
married.
most men run
So
away from
now
this.
we have parents that have well grown and mature ladies
Yeah,
who want to get married,
yeah,
who are nice, who are
yeah,
amazing. But men are not coming simply because they are from a culture or a background that you have high bride price.
yeah,
So I cannot be a guy. Let's take, for example, I'm earning 200K or
yeah,
300K a
yeah.
month. You don't expect me to wake up one morning and bring out 4 million or 3 million to go and pay bride price. It's going to be hard. So you see men that want to get married are prepared, are ready, but they lack the finances. And they don't want a case whereby because men, we are egotistical beings, we work with our ego. You don't want a place where it now looks like as if you're begging, right? So a lot of them will just want to rather keep away than be in that position. So parents, ancestors, village people, whoever you are, make it easier for these people. Our ladies want to get married, the
Yeah.
men want to get married, make it easier for them, right? And whichever age you feel like you're set to get married, get married. If it's in your early 20s, fine. But what I usually advise is early 20s, enjoy the romance, right? Then from 24, I feel like 24 is a good enough age for people to be at the point where they are sure of what they want
Okay.
when it comes to marriage. So
Oh, okay. So, okay, guys, I hope we're probably learning something at this point because we're winding down. So I'm going to take this question. It's a collabo. Then before we take
Allah.
the second to the last question, don't worry, the last simple. Hey ho engineer, calm down. So what are some habits that you're currently building to become the version of yourself that you dream of? And how does that reflect in your friendships?
How does that reflect in my friendships? I know, okay, you asked me a question earlier
Healthy friendships, yeah.
about healthy friendships
Yeah,
that I didn't answer.
it's yeah, no, I want to merge it with this.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to, what are some habits you're currently building to become a better version of yourself that you dream of, and how does that reflect in your friendships?
Okay. So, as a young person, I think one of the habits I'm building is improving or increasing my personal quiet time as a
Okay,
person. Like,
okay,
I feel like each before the start of each day, there's need for me to just be in my own personal space and pray, study my Bible, and just be in that place where it's just me and God. Refresh myself spiritually. And there was something that the Bible always tells us, which is that after Jesus Christ had done maybe a miracle or done something with power, it
yeah,
will tell you that Jesus withdrew to a
yeah,
quiet
to
place
just
to refresh
yeah,
himself. And I feel like for me to build a healthy lifestyle, work life, relationship with everyone around me, I must at least have a healthy relationship with my maker. So once that is established and I'm building that gradually, it's now transcends to other areas of my life. And though we face burnout from work, we face burnout from relationships and friendship, but it helps you grow in capacity that you're able to bear these things without
yeah,
losing it
losing it
mentally.
completely, yeah,
And also helps me. Next thing I look at is establishing boundaries. Like
very
growing
important.
growing up, I lacked boundaries, especially with friends, both of opposite
Up
sex.
until university.
Even in university, I struggled a lot, even up to post university. I think it took my last relationship for me to be able to properly
To
establish
use
some form of
boundaries.
boundaries for myself because I'm a people person. So I am like a once famous former president in this country said, I am for everybody and I'm
And
for nobody.
nobody.
So like everybody everybody get me. Like if
Yeah.
you're whether you're male or female, if you call me by 3 a.m., I'll wake
Have
up
my
and pull
time.
up for you.
I can relate, guys. I'm not calling my 3 a.m., but I was going
So
through a lot.
like anytime you call me, I'm there.
Yeah.
And even it makes me bring people close.
Yeah.
I endear them so much to me, and
Do you have people that do that for you? Do you have people
that's a
that
story for another day.
when you wake them by 2 a.m., they are there for you?
I That's a story for another day. I will not
Hmm.
answer that. So
Hmm.
and it made it difficult because now I had lots of female folks
Around.
around me,
Yeah.
but nothing was going on. They were
Yeah.
basically just my
Yeah.
friends.
It was
But because
platonic.
they were safe around me, oh, this
Yeah.
is our guy,
Yeah.
and they were my guys. Okay, we just vibe, so we could just sit down, take pictures,
Chill. Just
chill.
chill. Yeah.
But when we post it, it looks like
Something else
something
is
is
going
going
on.
on. So
Yeah.
in school, I struggle with that a lot because I would meet a lady I like, and they're like, this guy is a player. He's always with one lady or the other. He's always
Mm.
that. So, and me, I used to feel like, why would they feel like that? I'm just, this and that. But it was still my last relationship that I realized that I actually needed to work on that
Yeah.
because it's normal. No, many women will not feel comfortable with you
Not at
having
all.
those
Oh,
kind of
around you.
friendships and
Where's
relationships. So
where's the demarcation of who is in a romantic
romantic. So I
yeah with
had
you?
to put those kind of boundaries
Boundaries around.
around me, even with the terms I use, because I grew up in a place where baby was just what you call
Any
any female
female
friend
friend
you
around.
had around you. But I had to start learning how to cut those
Yeah.
things, say what I mean, and mean what I say.
Yeah.
And that boundary helped me, especially in my relationship with the opposite sex, because at this point in time, it has cut down drastically. Like I know last year, a couple of them reached out to me and they were like, Castro, you've changed a lot. Like how? They're like, you just and I told them I understand and I'm sorry, but it's part of growth.
Yeah, it is.
You
It
have
is,
to,
and you just have to be adaptable to it. It's what it is.
so
Because you know the funny thing, the thing is that yeah, you see one thing about us females here, we want as much as we tell you like as much as let's say as your friend now, like we want you to be that safe space here. If my partner was being that safe space like so much to other female friends, I wouldn't be comfortable. Do you get? Like I would be a bit like nigga, like tone it down now. Like what's up? Give it some break now. But then at the same time, I'm not really putting myself in the shoes of who you are in a like romantic relationship with. And it's not that it's intentional. It's just what it is. That's why guys will say that females like to have like gay friends. Like let the guy act like because they just be around but don't throw like romantic jabs at me. You don't want to be just be there but don't be there. I don't know, it's a confusing thing, so it's just what it is, and boundaries are very important. I agree as
yeah.
well.
And the whole boundary stuff, it's and this is an advice to my fellow guys, right?
Okay.
Um, your girl is not crazy. Whichever partner, like your girl is, see, if there's one person that knows when a lady likes a man, it's a fellow lady.
Yes, the same
So
way a guy knows when a
so
guy likes
you
a
know,
girl.
so if your girl for some reason tells you, I don't like this your friendship with this lady,
Listen,
just just take it and
clean
just
your ear and
because
listen.
and this is for the guys, right? That female friendship you are struggling to keep at the cost of your own relationship, I put it to you
Is
that
it worth
if
it?
that lady finds a man that loves her so much, she will not waste a second to cut you off. So don't
Shouts.
go losing a beautiful thing because you want to. I feel like friends should understand.
Yeah.
We are growing.
Yeah.
I want to focus on my
Yes.
relationship. They
Yeah.
should
I won't have all
understand,
the
and
time in the world.
life goes on.
Yeah.
Establish those boundaries. And
Very important.
another habit is I have stopped seeing people as myself because it reduces disappointment, and that gets me to your next to that question you
Question
asked,
I asked. Yeah.
because expectation breeds disappointment.
Yeah.
And I used to feel like that in the past because I go out of my way for people. Like I go out of my way for people. Anybody around me will tell you that. It's like if they don't tell you that, then they definitely you're not my people. But I go out of my way for people around me, and it made me feel like my people should go out of their way for me. But I've been in several situations where people I thought and I trusted would have done something for
And
me
they didn't.
and they didn't. Or situations where they required minimal effort to do something and they took it nonchalantly. They
Yeah.
didn't pull up for me. And I'm not
Even
the,
if it were
you
reverse,
know,
you won't have. Yeah.
I won't have. And it hurt me so much. It hurt me so much. But at the end of the day, I realized that that I was the one hurting myself. I was seeing people through my own lenses, and I should see people through for what they are, people. They are human beings. Humanity is oftentimes disappointing. So
Yeah.
I just I reduced my expectations. It didn't affect the way I treated them, right?
Yeah.
I would still be who
Do you
I
want?
am,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel the need for anybody
Didn't
to
expect so much
reciprocate
from them
for
anymore.
me.
Yeah.
So and it helped me build those friendships. When I need them and they don't pull up, it really doesn't affect how I see them or how I treat them. I just take it as one of those things and I move on with life. So
It is what it is.
yeah.
That's what people say in summary. Okay, second to last question.
Wow.
This has been a very interesting session so far. I won't even lie. Like I you know what it took us to drag Big Castro inside this studio. People don't know what it took. It took a lot. It took emails. It took calls.
Wahala.
I even had to send Army to his house. So I had to send courier service so that they will deliver letter to him, and he's here. So, is there something about being a young Nigerian man that people often misunderstand? I mean, if you're a Twitter user, you would know the angle I'm coming from. You know, when people say don't date Nigerian men, this or that, that. So do you think is there something about being a young Nigerian man that you feel like people often misunderstand? I mean, you've dealt with people, different people from different races in work. So do you think there's something that they often misunderstand?
Well, stereotypes are real, right?
Very real.
So the truth is stereotypes will always exist. And some stereotypes are will I say they have some, you know, they have some aspect of truth in them. That's the truth, right? Um a proud Owerri man. I grew up in Owerri. I'm from Owerri, right? And we have lots of bad PR about
Very much.
Owerri men, right? And in the real sense, I see where they are going with those things because I grew up in Owerri and I've seen it. So some of those stereotypes attached to Owerri men are very much real, right? They are very much real.
Real.
And that's the same way with it is with different stereotypes. So now what I say about stereotype is have it in mind,
Yeah.
but don't let it be a base for you to, appraise someone
Okay.
or condemn someone. Give
Yeah.
people chance, give
Benefit
them
of doubt.
benefit of the doubt.
Attach
Don't,
grace.
you
I
know,
always say it, attach grace to people.
right,
Don't just judge a book by its
cover.
cover.
Don't
Yeah.
make, I feel like, don't make generalized statements about people or come
Because
and
you
say,
haven't experienced everyone, and
you know,
you never will. Yeah.
like there was something a friend of mine, if she watches this, she would know.
Send her the link.
In school then I liked the girl then, like she was my very close friend and I liked her, and I told her how far now, like I wasn't really serious though. I just playfully,
Yeah.
as my very close friend then,
Friend.
I'm like, I like you now, how far, let's date.
Yeah.
And she made a statement. She said she will never date an Owerri man.
Where's she from?
I will not say where she's from, right? I don't want to, but she's Igbo too, right?
Okay, that's fine.
So, and when she said it, I felt bad, kind of
Offended,
like
kind of.
I wasn't offended, but I just
No.
felt bad. I'm like, yeah, like you just wrote off every Owerri man simply because of stereotype, which is how it is. And personally, growing up, I never really liked white people,
Oh,
right? I just felt like they were extra. But
okay.
having worked with them a lot,
Couple of
I
them.
realized that you have the crazy ones and you still have the chill
Yeah.
ones. So even as Nigerians, we
We
have
have the
the
crazy
crazy ones and
Nigerians
you
and we
have
still
the
have the
chill
chill
ones.
ones.
Nigerian women have bad PR about being materialistic, being entitled, and all that. And I will still say it, you have the crazy ones
And
and
you
you
have
have
the
the chill
chill
ones.
ones.
Nigerian men can be extra, can be misogynistic, can be so many
But you still
things,
have
sexist, horrible, racist, and we can be so many things. but we still have the good
PR is not
ones
helping.
and we have the crazy
Seriously
ones.
one. So
So it,
generalization is not so is
so
not so perfect.
don't let it form your reality. I feel like what you accept is what will happen. Like
Yeah.
if you say Nigerian men are the worst of worst, those
You
are the
meet
kind of men you
that
will
you meet
meet,
the
you
worst of
would attract.
worst.
If you
And
say
that's sad though.
Nigerian women are horrible, entitled, and all, those are the kind of women you will
You
attract.
meet.
Personally, throughout my life, I'm not lying. I've only had like a fling with one entitled woman before in my life. The rest I've had with her were pretty much amazing. Though things didn't work out.
Yeah.
But when I come to Twitter and I see stuff being said, I'm like, well, it's not my reality. I have lots of
You've
amazing
had
women
your own
around
reality.
me
Yeah.
that support me, that are very much invested in my growth.
Yeah.
So even as guys, we have lots of misconception about us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really affect me though. I believe that I am in charge of my reality. I'm in charge of what I do, and that's that. Well, you can believe whatever you want to believe.
That's on you.
That's on you, not
That's
me.
on period.
So,
Okay, last question. Just quickly before we go, what lessons have your 20s taught you so far that you tell your 18-year-old self? What
okay,
lesson, one lesson that your 20s has taught you so far that you would tell your 18-year-old self if you had to
one
sit?
lesson.
Yes, one lesson.
There are lots of lessons. So,
Yes, one that
um,
stands out to you.
one lesson.
One lesson that your 20s has taught you so far that you will sit your 18-year-old self down and let your 18-year-old self know.
Okay, I feel like the biggest lesson that my 20s has taught me is this, and I keep on learning it every day. It's summarized in four sentences,
Okay?
or five,
Okay?
rather, and it embodies my middle name, which is Chinemezu. God
Okay?
fulfills
Okay?
his promises. So, and the lesson I learned is one, or let me list out the sentences.
Okay?
God never fails.
Okay?
God still prevails.
Mm,
God has a plan.
mm,
God loves all his children.
mm,
At the end of the day, God is the greatest. So
mm.
that's that.
Sorry, please, for us that want to write it down. It was thinking God never fails, God still prevails.
God
God
has
is
a plan.
God has a plan.
Yeah.
I think he said God loves his
God loves all his children.
all his children.
Yeah.
And then you said God is the greatest.
Yeah. That's that.
You need to tell us why you're single again, because I don't know. Someone that loves God that is doing well, and when do you want to marry again? Let's know. Let's know if we would start shooting our shots and we'll start
Wahala day.
entering the
You know what I
DMs.
mean? But God willing, I should be married in the next 2 years. Let me just find someone. God
Very
willing.
good. But then I'd have also money, so I'll come and spray some real dollars.
Normally.
Spray some real dollars. Anyway, thank you so much, Big Castro, for being on the show. Like I said, guys, it took us a lot to drag him out, but we thank God that he's here and we had a swell time. And quickly before we go, let us know that song that you told us to stream and where we can find it so we'll go and listen to the song.
Um, it's not really that kind of song,
It
right?
doesn't matter.
It's a song from back then in school,
Yes, we
so
like to
the
hear it still.
production is not so great.
We don't mind.
But the name is I Quit, and it's on AudioMac. But
Okay.
please, if you really want to stream or anything, just check out my stuff on
Yes, he's
Spotify, Apple
Apple
Music,
Music.
Deezer, YouTube
I
Music.
recommend. I
Just check
recommend.
out. I dropped an EP in 2021 or 2022, rather, Confessions of a Church Boy,
Ah,
Road to Self Discovery. And it just had a way of summarizing the struggles I faced as a young
face.
lad, as a guy in my 20s, right?
20s,
So
yeah.
I feel when you listen to it, you can
You
relate,
get it,
right?
guys.
So
It's not even a hype. It's reality. Like I could probably show you guys my phone It's my most listened to on Apple Music. Not trying to make a grown man blush,
Wahala.
but it's just being truthful. And anyway, thank you so much, Big Castro, for being on here, and
It's a
thank you
pleasure.
guys so much for listening so far. It's been a long episode. Jesus, it's an
It's a
hour
pleasure.
plus, and I hope you guys grab your popcorn, grab your
Wahala.
drink, grab. In fact, connect
Wahala.
to your TV because it's going to be a long episode. But trust me, it's always worth it at the end. Don't fast forward. Don't put it on 2x. Listen gradually. Take your
Please
time
don't
with
drag
it.
me, please. Thank you.
Anyway, you can drag him. Like I gave him disclaimer before we started. I said he's open, but please, if you drag him, I'll come for you. Don't drag any of my guests. It's wrong. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and I really appreciate. And I'll see you guys in our next episode. Don't forget to tell a friend, like I said, to tell their uncles, neighbors, brother's wife that this is Nana and I talk. They have a wonderful day ahead. Jachi, bye.
Peace.